Since in this game, it actually costs real life money to respec your classes, I didn't actually do what I normally do, which is just kind of experiment with things and respec. So I ultimately followed this guide online that was an optimal build for Gunner. I'll leave a link in the description, but on here, I'm following it to the T pretty much. So everything from the Gunner side of the tree to the Hunter side of the tree. So far, I haven't got all the points that I need to max out everything that it's asking me to do, but so far it's been very, very good. Ever since I went to this build and I got away from my ghetto ass hybrid setup that I was trying to do, it made a dramatic difference to my overall DPS and also survivability. The major things that I went with that feel the best, like the Gunner side of things, I just followed it exactly. The only thing that I don't like about this build, and this is just a thing with Gunners in general, is this chain trigger. The chain trigger attack is very, very situational. You have to trigger it off of your normal attacks. So the main thing is to get a lock on a specific part of the body that you know is really exposed, or you know it's not gonna break. Because that's one thing that's wrong with this chain trigger. Once the target's armor piece breaks off or whatever, you'll lose the chain, and it's like a 30-second cooldown to wait for it to come back again so you can refill the chain again. And when you're able to do the chain, it's amazing damage. You're gonna be doing crazy numbers. And now that I got the slave weapon, just on true equilibrium here, I've been doing some sick ass damage. So over 100,000 like per tick, per hit, while the chain has gotten to full 100%. So it's pretty sick if you can get it off. But that's the problem with this thing. It relies on you to get it to 100%. And if you can't get it all the way to 100%, it's fine. You could probably get it to 25 or even 50 and still do some nice damage. But it's super situational, and I hate powers like that. Showtime, on the other hand, is up all the time, and it doubles up. As long as you don't take damage, it will just keep proccing on you. So this helps it so that that fury bar that you gain while you're fighting stays up, and when you get hit, you don't lose as much, on top of doing extra damage with running Showtime. So Showtime is really good. If I could change anything out of this build, I would get rid of chain trigger and not even bother with this, and probably just move it someplace else. Other than maybe getting the range power-ups. You see these two here, I would probably max those two out. Maybe get advanced aerial, and maybe the defense ones or something, I don't know. Or HP up could help as well. Either one of those. I just feel like anything is better than chain trigger. The chain trigger is just too situational. On the Hunter side of things, everything is worth getting in this tree. That's on this list, at least. Fury stance is amazing. It's so worth getting. It boosts your DPS like tremendously, as long as you're not using guard stance. And the main reason why guard stance is even in here is to get the Hunter's physique down here at the bottom. I haven't got Hunter's physique, so I don't know what it's like. It has apparently like half of it is going to be on cooldown and the other half is going to be actually using it. I feel like that falls back into the same thing as the chain trigger, hoping that you don't get attacked, but if you do get attacked, then I guess it's going to help you. You know what I mean? It's one of those situational kind of abilities. So I wouldn't really recommend getting that, but then again, it's up to you. Automate is amazing. Get that thing to full, because it's going to make it so that when you get hit past half of your health, the monomate will like instantly go on. That will basically just make it so that you don't ever have to look at your health, and when you get hit, you're just going to automatically heal it full. So it's beautiful. It's really worth getting. When it comes to the disc, these are the main abilities I'm using, but you can change it up if you want to. The two that I absolutely love is True Equilibrium. This thing does a ton of damage, and this is the one that I use the most. This is the one that I basically spam a lot. So this is my main attack. And then Grim Barrage makes it so that you can fly around all over the place, so you're basically Iron Man. The best thing about this is that you can basically get around and then you can use this kick, the aerial fire, to kick yourself up into the sky, so you can go as high as you want and just stay completely out of the battle. You know what I mean? So you can snipe down and just shoot everybody. Of course, you're not getting the benefit of doing the most damage, because Gunner definitely does more damage if you're up in their face shooting them. At least you're doing damage and you're not dying. You know what I mean? That's what I would prefer. Bullet hail is pretty nice. You could change it out for something else if you want to. I don't really use it as much as I like. It's okay. It's an okay skill. I just think it looks really cool. And then Desperado Dance. This is a really good attack, especially when you get surrounded by a bunch of mobs. You just hit Desperado and you're gonna kill everything right there next to you. So it's really awesome also to spam this thing on top of a boss. So if you're able to have the time to get up on top of a boss and you hit that, forget it. You'll slaughter the shit out of them. And I only have it at rank 10 right now. I need to get a 17, but the 17s are going for $500,000 and I don't want to spend that much money. I'm trying to be frugal out here. When it comes to the rings and the units, I haven't got the units yet. It's very expensive. This has been a process. It's trying to get you to get the Sakai set, which right now I'm using the Brista set because the Brista was cheap. You know, so if you want something you're going to be able to use right away, you could probably pick up the Brista set because they're going on the auction house for decent prices. Let me see. See, when it comes to the set, it's pretty affordable. They're usually less than 100,000 and you can buy just one of each. I didn't actually look at, you know, the bonuses that they're giving. So if you want to add that extra layer of like seeing what the bonuses offer to see if you can find something that's more going to go towards like range damage, then you can go ahead and try to do that. But I didn't really care to go that far with it. I'm trying to get the Sakai set. So when you look at the full set of this Brista one, it's giving range power, melee power, and tech power of 70. So that's a nice little bonus to have just for wearing all three. So that's one of the main reasons to even get this set in the beginning, and then you can kind of graduate yourself into getting the Sakai set when you can afford it. The rings, the one that's super recommended, I absolutely love this thing, is forward stylish roll. And during the spinning, you're pretty much invincible. So whenever something is going to do like an amazing attack at you or whatever, you can dodge out a lot. And this is what makes Gunner so special, is that you have the ability to pretty much dodge out every single attack. You never need to get hit. You know, and that's why I like the advanced monomate, is that if I did get hit, then I'll heal to full. You know what I mean? So it just adds that extra layer of like survivability on top of the survivability you already have with forward stylish roll. So it's beautiful. On the right ring, I'm using the HP restore, but I haven't seen it actually proc that much. Like it barely procs. But then again, I only have it at like level 7 right now, so I'm still trying to level it up. When it comes to your melee weapon, the Nox weapons work great. So if you want to start with the Nox weapons and then from there graduate into the slave weapons or even the nemesis weapons, you can go ahead and do that. Right now I'm using a slave weapon. I just got this yesterday and these things are very expensive on the auction house. Definitely try to get light if you can. And try to look at the stats, because what you're trying to look for is range power. So you want to get that as high as possible. Some of these people are charging way too much for rolls that are just really shitty. Like, look at this roll, only 15 extra power, and he's asking for $23 million. Like, that's garbage. You know, so this is gonna cost you a lot of money to upgrade. You're gonna be looking at affixing your weapon forever, which is going to probably cost you over 10 million, 15 million, 20 million, whatever. It's very expensive to affix. And then on top of that, upgrading the weapon to 35, which is probably going to cost you another like 10 million on its own. So before you know it, you're already spending like 60 million on this weapon just to fix it, you know? So I don't recommend buying a weapon unless it has over 100 range power. You see like this one right here, 140. And he's selling it for 42 million. You know, it's kind of expensive. 42 million is expensive. So this is why you save this for later and you just start playing with the Nox weapons first. You get the Nox weapon at 35 and you just chill with that for a while. That way you have something until you get your slave or your nemesis. I recommend like waiting until the prices go down a bit, because you'll get somebody that eventually will put something up for sale that's decent. I spent 30 million on my slave yesterday. I thought it was worth it for the moment, and now that's the closest thing I could get. I've been shopping for like 3 weeks, trying to find the right combo of weapons so I can go ahead and just invest into it. So yeah, it's very expensive and very time consuming. So if you're trying to get like the top of the line shit, it's gonna take a while. So that's why I recommend getting Brista set at least as a starter, and get the Nox as a starter. When it comes to the mag, all you gotta do is just pump full range. Don't do anything different. Just pump full range. You're gonna see the huge difference in damage right off the bat. I went from like some hybrid dex mag thing that I was trying to do. Like, look at the mag that I was running at first before I did this build. I was running this one. It was 50 on everything. So this was my noob mag. And then I ended up buying a few mags just to have one as a fighter, one as a tech, and one as a range. So I'm using my range one right now with the gunner. But that's pretty much it with the build, at least. I'm so satisfied with this build so far. I know this is probably an old build, but it works great. Like, I haven't had any problems. I've noticed like the damage as soon as I got the slave was tremendous. Like, the upgrade from basically Nox to slave, you're gonna notice a huge bump versus, you know, getting those increment upgrades. I don't recommend doing the increments because it's gonna take you forever and it's gonna be very costly for you to do that. So just jump to the big boys, you know what I mean? Like, go from the basic to big boy. It's more fun, trust me. But anyways, hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, y'all.